There is power in words. There's real power in words. Words in general, but even more so, last words. The reason is because words often reveal what is on our hearts, what's in our hearts. There's something about last words that really capture our attention. They often happen in moments of intensity, and they reveal the truth of a person's heart in a raw and unfiltered way. Last words are rarely filtered. They're honest and they're real. Some last words are noble. Nathan Hale, probably you would only know this name if you are a real historian, 21 years old, stood facing death during the American Revolution, declared, "I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country." Pretty incredible words from a 21-year-old. Some last words are tender. Canadian icon Leonard Cohen unknowingly spoke his last words simply to his beloved. "Goodbye, kid. See you later." She left the house and he died before she got back. And then there are the saints, those whose last breath points not to themselves but to God. So Saint Therese of Lisieux, filled with childlike trust, whispered, "My God, I love you." Saint Joan of Arc, as the flames were lit, cried out, "Jesus, Jesus, Jesus." There are also believers who surprise us with their final clarity. Actor John Wayne, who some people may not be aware of the fact that he converted to the Catholic faith on his deathbed. John Wayne, known for Westerns more than catechisms, was asked by his wife if he recognized her. His last words, "Of course I know who you are. You're my girl. I love you." Not all last words are so peaceful, though. Voltaire, the atheist philosopher, is reported to have said when offered a priest, "Now is not the time to make new enemies." I hope God had a sense of humor. And David Hume, another well-known atheist, is said to have cried out in agony while still in this world, "I am in flames." Last words matter. They show us what's inside the soul when there's nothing left to prove. One last example of my own is not exactly last words, but every time I talk to my mom in the last year, well, I always said it, but it sort of became more important to me. I always said to her when finishing a phone call was, "I love you, Mom." Some of our phone calls, I actually timed them, were like 20 seconds. It's like, that's the way my mom was. And it would be like, because in the last years of her life, she had dementia. So at times she could talk a little bit longer. At times it was like literally 15, 20 seconds, like, "Hello, Mom, I love you. Okay, goodbye." And that was it. But I wanted to say those words, "I love you." Even in her dementia, I hoped, and I got some signs that these words got through. And that brings us to Jesus. On this Good Friday, I want to focus on the very first words of Jesus, the first of his last words. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." This is staggering. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." After being betrayed, abandoned, falsely accused, lied about, tortured, and now crucified, which had an individual go through an incomprehensible amount of pain. Jesus doesn't lash out. He doesn't curse his executioners. It got so bad that they would actually cut the tongues out of the crucified criminals because the blasphemies flowing out of them were, nobody wanted to hear them, so they would cut their tongues out. He doesn't curse his executioners. He doesn't even cry for justice. He begs for mercy. Father, forgive them. These are not words of someone defeated. These are words of someone fighting for you, for me. From the very beginning, Jesus was fighting. After his baptism, we read that the Holy Spirit led him into the wilderness to be tempted. That was his first act after being revealed as the Son of God. Why? Because kings don't just wear crowns. They go to battle. Jesus went to battle for us, right from the very beginning. At the end of his life, he's still in the battle. The same temptations come back. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross, and we will believe you. We're all clear here, I hope, that they would not have believed him. They would have attributed it to Satan. But he doesn't come down from the cross. And he could have. Why? Because he wasn't coming down without you and me. He wasn't leaving the cross until your sin was paid for. His last words show us what was on his heart. What was on the heart of Jesus was you and me. We were on his heart. Even in the moment of agony, Jesus wasn't thinking of himself. He was thinking of the Father and of you. That's who he was always thinking about. The Father's will and your salvation. And make no mistake, sin is the worst thing in the world. It's the reason behind every sorrow, every death, every injustice. Jesus knew that. He knew what he was doing on the cross. He wasn't confused. He wasn't trapped. He chose it. He intentioned it. He knew for whom he was dying. He knew you and me. And knowing everything about you, every mistake, every regret, every sin, all of them, all the venial, all the mortal, he still said, Father, forgive them. Father, forgive them. He could have said, I'm done. He could have said, enough. He could have said, they're just not worth it. But he didn't. He said, I'm not done. He said, forgive them. He said, you're worth dying for. Those last words are not abstract. They are as personal as you can get. They reveal the price of your sin, and they reveal the value of your soul. They reveal the price of your sin and the value of your soul. So the question on this Good Friday is simple but eternal. Can you accept that love? It's not easy because we're not used to this kind of love. This is not transactional. Can you accept that he died for you? Not because you were good, but because he is good. He is good. He's the good one. Because if you can accept this, it changes everything in our life. Everything. If we really accept it. Practical takeaway. On this Good Friday, here's what I invite you to do. Before you leave the church today, or even, let's say, for some reason you forget about it, before the day is done, but if you can before you leave the church today, speak your own words to Jesus. Doesn't have to be long, but make it real. If you have been far from God, say, Jesus, I want to come back. Pretty good prayer. Jesus, I want to come back. If you felt ashamed, say, Jesus, forgive me. If you've doubted his love, say, Jesus, help me to believe. I don't believe, or I'm having a darn difficult time believing. If you've never said this before, just say, Jesus, thank you. Let your words today match the truth of his words on the cross. Because his first, last words were for you.